Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to do a video about explaining a little bit about how to play Muck. Because I know for myself, getting into it initially was a bit hard, a bit difficult, bit of a learning curve, and I think the single best way to do it is to go over here where it says game mode and go click creative. I think that's the best way to learn how to play the game. Now, it's not going to make no monsters spawn. If it's only going to not spawn monsters at night, if you do that. And it gives you a really good idea of how to get a hold of the game to play survival, which is a ton of fun and very difficult. So, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be playing survival to show you guys what the timeline should look like playing survival, because in creative mode you can just kind of let whatever happen and it's whatever. So we actually got a really good spawn here. So these open chests, these brown ones, they just have things waiting for you to pick them up. First thing you do, pick up that rock, and you can go and hit any tree. It doesn't matter what tree you hit. And there's another chest up there on the right, as you can see. It just matters that we punch a tree down with this rock. And we'll go ahead up here. You want to collect as many of these buffs as possible, because they are going to rule your game. They're going to absolutely rule your game. They're some of the most important elements to doing well in this game. So first off here, we're just collecting trees. We're trying to collect, I usually go for about 3 or 4 trees, but I'm on the lookout because I'm looking for iron, because iron is the next thing that we need. And it looks like we might have some across the lake here. But we also want to get rocks. That's the other thing we want to grab. And so with that, I'm going to craft this bench, make 10 bark, because for each tool you make, you need 5 bark for it. So 10 bark is the perfect amount. And we're just going to pick up our workbench here again. You don't have to. Honestly, I'm not really fully convinced that it's worth your time, like picking up coal, but we're a little stingy, so we're gonna pick it back up as we move around here. So you want to collect rocks, coal, and birch trees, which actually I should do while I'm over here. Birch, you have to have, so you'll notice if you try and hit it with your rock, it won't work. And that's because you have to use at least a wooden axe or higher to be able to knock down birch trees. And birch wood is important because it's necessary. Oop. Try and pick up all these apples here too. It's just free food. Oh jeez. Come on. Oh, come on. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. We're chilling with that. Oh, come on. Oh, let's get up there. Pick up all these apples and we'll get knocking on these birch trees. Up here there's another chest that we can go for. We want a minimum of, I believe, 20 birch logs, which we've already kind of hit. So now these mushrooms, these are the other pretty good things laying around that you'll want to pick up. The apples are really good in the beginning, because those will be my sustenance in the near future. If you've noticed, you have a hunger bar down on the bottom right, and that's slowly ticking down as the game progresses here. And basically when that gets to 0, your stamina bar will no longer fill, and that's your cue to eat something. Now, I'm not sure, I think it's the first chest. No matter what chest you open first, you get the boat map. And you can just throw that in your inventory and then take that out. I'm going to take the wood, I'm going to take the coal out of here. There's nothing in there. There's some rocks in here. Rocks are good. Wood is good. Bull, I don't really care about. Coal, good. These cows, very important. Cooked cow is one of your best sources of food. And it's starting to get dark here. So we're gonna make our way over to find some iron. Gonna eat a couple apples here. I want to try and pick up as much of these mushrooms on the way. So you'll notice the mushrooms are like different colors. I want some wheat as well. You'll notice the mushrooms are different colors, and that means they basically do different things. So I'm strafing out of this dude's attacks by running. So that's why you also don't want to run out of food, is because when you run out of food, you can no longer run. And you'll notice that I'm getting coins from killing these guys too, as well as that they only spawn at night. And I can use those coins to open up chests, which is very important. That's how you get more buffs, and more buffs the merrier. Now you'll notice that this thing over here, this starts a battle between a bunch of monsters, and at the end of the battle, you get a buff. A random buff, depending on how difficult it was for you, more or less, I believe. But you want those as well. Buffs are good. So once we get up to about Mithril, we're going to start going for as many of those as possible. And there's a ton of them right here, so we're going to try and find some iron over here as soon as possible. Now that big question mark, that's where the boat is. The boat is basically how you progress in the game. Birch, I'll take it. 25 gold to open up this chest, yes please. A free chest. And you want to always go through all these chests. They always, for the most part, have good stuff in them. Bark, I'm going to take that. Flint, rock, wooden pickaxe, doesn't matter now. Sometimes you'll get lucky and find a wooden pickaxe in a chest really early on. And coins. But sometimes you're not. I'm gonna grab both these buffs here. It's better to be proactive with these guys, I've found. Sometimes they're just roaming around. And as you can see, like, when I eat, I'll give you a good example here. When I eat, I gain health as well as hunger, so it's not wasted if you're just going for hunger. I'm going to try and get as many chests as possible here as we're looking around for a dark gray rock looking thing. Picking up mushrooms as we go. And I just don't see any. And it's always good to take a look at your map. And so this is like a little inlet that we're not going to be able to get to the other side of, so we're going to make the most of what we're doing on this side. And you notice when you run out of stamina, you're not able to run or jump anymore. And that's okay. It's alright. Getting really lucky with all these, running into all these chests. And you can also open up chests through walls if you want. That's a thing. I don't really care about taking the bread with me right now, right at this moment. And there's just a bunch of chests over here, not much in the ways of iron. Wow. So ideally, you find some iron pretty early on. This is getting to be the end of day 1, and we haven't found iron yet. So as you can tell, there's the purple mushrooms give you stamina, the yellow mushrooms give you hunger, these mushrooms give you everything, and the red mushrooms give you just straight health. So that's the different colored mushrooms. I'm really kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. And flax. Flax is also another important part of the game, because you need it for one part for the ship. And that's mithril. That's mithril? Mithril right there. Or sorry, that's adamantite. It looked blue. It's green. That is the fourth stage? Third stage of the game. Okay, so because you start off with wood, then you progress up to steel or iron or steel, whatever you want to call it. It makes steel tools, but it's you mine iron. Then iron gets you mithril, and mithril gets you adamantium. And we're coming into our second night here. This is not ideal. But if you're pretty good with strafing, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. And so we're basically just trying to stack up as much, as many buffs as possible, and really just kind of build up everything. Chief's chest. So the thing about the villagers is that if you open up this chief's chest, they're gonna start coming after you, which I don't want to do necessarily right now, having only wood tools. That's not ideal for myself at the moment. So we're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna hold off. So actually, another thing to, it's the little things. I still have stamina in my stamina bar, but I have no food. I'm starving, more or less. And you'll notice I still can sprint, but only up until the bar stops me. So you can still sprint, just you're limited. You're very limited. And jetpack is the best one because it keeps you in the air longer. Come on. Obamium? That is the last final element that you'll need. Definitely an interesting one. I don't think you can make tools out of it, but you can make a sword and armor out of it. And that's very, very helpful. Although, at that point, you might as well be using chunkium ore, which it's got about the same stats, but the benefit is that using a full set of chunkium armor gives you a big buff. I forget what it is off the top of my head, but it's definitely worth it. Is that some iron or just rocks? That looks like it could be iron. I think we might have our first spot here. Very far from the ship. And you'll notice these little totems here. So like, as with those square totems create enemies, 3 enemies for you to fight, you can challenge Big Chunk. And Big Chunk will give you Chunkium. Others will not give you similar. Will give you other things, not Chunkium more. But they'll give you other buffs. There's the Chief, which can give you parts for the Chief Spear. And there's Gronk, which will give you parts for Gronk's Sword, which are very useful. But we're not ready to challenge him yet. We're definitely not ready. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be building up our iron reserves here. And I just want to get enough to make some iron tools and move up to mithril, which I don't see any mithril around me. So with that, we're gonna keep running around a bit here. Yes. And we're gonna start looking for some mithril before we set up camp for sure. That looks like to be some over there. And it most definitely is. So we're gonna set up camp here. We're gonna set up that. We're gonna set up a station, a furnace, and we're gonna set up a cauldron. And that furnace is where we're gonna put our ore and most of our coal. And then we're gonna be able to put our raw meat in here with the coal. You can also use wood. It doesn't really matter. And we are going to get going on that. For now, that's all I want to do. We're about to hit night, and the first thing I want to make with mithril is a sword. And the first thing I want to make with this is an anvil, and I don't have enough rock. And that's where you play yourself sometimes. There are specific amounts of like how much you'll need for stuff. So I don't know them by heart, but I can put, what I'll do is I'll create a let me deal with this guy. Okay. What I'll do is I'll make a list of like the stages of it. So like every time so like each new level of ore that you get brings you up to a new level of picking up things. Oh, hi. The wolves are a little annoying to deal with early on, but they're not too bad. Mostly just because you have to fight them very differently than like everything else. And as you can see, we can open up this 80 gold chest here, which is nice. And you can leave that alone, thank you very much. Alright, okay, so, that's created. So, anvil is necessary for creating all the tools past wood tools, and we're gonna use this iron pickaxe to take down this mithril. Now, as with fur, you need fur to create iron tools, or sorry, birch to create iron tools. You need fur to create mithril tools, which means that fir tree is going to be our next little project. as well as taking this cooked meat and throwing this mithril in to bake while we go create an iron axe. And now these are sadly useless to us, so we can just throw them off to the wind and hope we don't run over them. They never deteriorate, so there's no point in spending a lot of time picking them back up. So there you have it. I wouldn't waste the time picking them back up. So as you noticed, we're not going for the boat yet. There's really not much we can do there until we're able to collect supplies very effectively, and usually the boat is in a very resource sparse area, so it's not really worth setting up camp there. I like to use like a mobile camp that I bring around a bunch of different places. And of course, like, as you move up in tools, it gets easier. So, like, for me to go hit a tree right now, I would be able to take a tree down quicker than with a rock. Way quicker than with a rock. 4 hits to take a tree down, about. It depends from, like, it depends, like, as you go along, of course. And you want to be picking up coal along the way as well. That's fairly important. And make sure you're still getting your buffs. And so, first thing we want to do with mithril is, of course, that sword, which is going to be here, just fir wood, mithril bars. And we're going to throw that in there as we get rid of something. We're just going to end up picking that back up. We can get rid of this now, because we're going to be picking up camp to move somewhere else pretty soon here. And what can I get rid of? Easiest thing to get rid of quickly. That's what I'm always thinking, you know, what's the easiest thing for me to get rid of? And right now that's the soup, because my hunger is low and it's just a necessary part. Oh wow, that's a lot of dudes over there just chilling. Rock dudes. Anyway, sorry, we need bark times 2 to be able to create a mithril pickaxe or a mithril axe. I think mithril axe is going to be, pickaxe is going to be more useful to us right now, just because mining is a very important thing. Wolf skin isn't useful at all to us at the moment. I don't really care about picking up this workbench again, but I will pick up this furnace. And I will get rid of these 6 wood, because I actually don't need to get rid of them. So now that we have a mithril sword, we can actually start battling some of these dudes for buffs. Or at least I feel confident in battling these dudes for buffs. Day 3, nothing much is going to go on. Our first boss fight is going to come around day 6. And we got a crimson dagger, which is nice, and enough gold to open up a couple other chests, which is good. And as you can see, the mithril sword's making short work of these guys. Oh, that's too big of a chest. At least for the moment. So we're going to be looking for some more mithril still. Of course, we're going to want to be killing cows along the way and mining. Oh, we can't even do that. Sorry, never mind. We don't want to do that. We can get rid of this flax. Oops, sorry. We can get rid of this flax for now. It's not very necessary. So we're going to be looking for some more mithril and some oak trees, as well as adamantium. adamantium if we find it. Because we can mine that and get that started. And we'll just keep killing these guys, and we're going good. So this is adamantium. It looked green. Adamantite. Close enough. And then there's another one of those squares we're gonna go for. So these guys will actually come and help you defeat these if you get them in the right spot. That's actually what makes it possible to beat the game with only a rock, because otherwise you would be unable to pick up any of that. And we'll get that guy. Okay. Not really too big of a fan of that, but it's alright. And there's another one over here. You want to be careful with these guys starting with 6. You want to make sure that you're decently equipped at day 6 to be able to fight these, because it can spawn bosses. And the bosses are way more difficult to deal with than your normal dude bros running around. And we're just trying to pick up as many chests here as possible. Really looking for some more mithril here. And we'll start making our way towards the boat. I also feel very confident opening up the chief's chest here, just because I know I can take these guys on. They will also give you, oh yeah, they're very fast. They will also give you a good amount of gold from murdering them all. As well as other things, and then you can just go and look in the other chests without worry. Yeah, no mithril? Yeah, did not get lucky. So in total you'll need like 10. Oh, here we go, right up here. In total, you'll need 10, 15 of each ore moving up the ranks to create a pickaxe, an axe, and a sword with each. As you've noticed, my strategy doesn't involve using a sword because it's not really necessary. I don't think it's really all that helpful until mithril. But it's all about just moving up the ranks, getting to... Oops. Can I not pick that up? I don't really care about this gold ore too much, to be honest. It is useful, but it's also not necessary. And that's enough. That's honestly enough. It's about to be nighttime, so we're gonna start looking for some oak trees, which are the red ones. As well as getting some of this more green stuff. Love me some green stuff. I should not say that. Adamantite. So these guys throw rocks, and they can be quite useful to knocking those guys down. I think you also do more damage to them with your pickaxe. So if you're fighting like mainly those guys, I'd recommend using a pickaxe. But that's just me. I'm not actually sure if it does more damage or not, but it feels like it does more damage, so I'm gonna continue to do it like that. Like here, they'll also actually damage each other, which is kind of nice. So we're looking for the red trees. We want our frogs. Those guys can be a bit tricky too because they are very quick to turn around. And we're on day 4 here. So we're gonna start making our way towards the boat at least. Picking up stuff on our way. Yes. Now we got our double jump. As you can see, there's a lot of mithril right here that I kind of missed out on, but it's okay. We'll check out this chest and then go fight that stone. Coal, apples, shrooms, all good things. I'll pick it up as long as it doesn't weigh me down too much or like take up too much inventory space. It's really there's an oak tree. Oh, one oak tree. Not bad. Get that Dracula buff. Mithril. And throw that coal in there, and we'll take this and put that down, and once we get 1 mithril, which is really all we need, we'll let this bake as we continue to make some not so, oops, use the right thing, as we continue to make some more important stuff. So we're gonna use the oak, create the adamantium tools, and we need a specific amount of oak wood. Oak wood we also need for the boat, a decent amount for the boat, so I'm gonna go a little bit extra than what you might think we need. And I would like to ideally, because it's going to be day 6, I'd like to be able to make a pick and use that to pick up that obamium right there or over there as we make our way over to the boat. Because I can make a sword out of that, and I'll use that to my own advantage. Especially since we have a boss fight coming up in the next day. So we want to be able to do that as quickly as possible. Okay. Oh, that's an easy one. dinosaurs really easy. And not that great of a buff, but it'll do. Oh, I need a workbench for literally just that. Actually, honestly, I could go crazy with it and do this as well. And if I really wanted to go really crazy with it, well, I'll just... I mean, it'll be an option. It'll be an option for me. But our main goal here is getting this guy. Because we want this for the best armor that we can get for now. Please, hit it with me. I really appreciate you hitting it. It's very welcome. And so as you can see, we're trying to keep these guys alive a little bit here as we're trying to get some of this obamium. Because they're helping us out. They're helping us out with it for the time being. Until that starts to happen. And then they're not so much helping us out. Or it gets a little too crazy. That's a little too crazy for my taste. So you guys can stop helping. Oops. And I love you guys helping so much. It's awesome. It's very much appreciated. Because this is really the main goal right now. Given that we have a boss fight coming up tonight. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one. How much do we have now? 20? So we're gonna get that sword cooking. And we're probably going to go... Actually, well... Because we need the dark oak as well. But there's some over here, so we'll go for some dark oak while that's cooking. Ah, yes. Sustenance. Always forget about sustenance. And so we'll come over here and grab some dark oak. Dark oak, I don't mind picking up as much as the other things. Mostly because for the amount of time that you take taking out a tree, it really gives you a lot. And you don't really need that much of it in the grand scheme of things for the whole game. Which is nice. It's actually really nice. And as you can see, I'm going for 2 of these at once. I'm probably gonna go for about 3 trees, depending on how much I get from this one. 37? Yeah, I'll go for 1 more. Just to be safe. Just to be safe. And we'll be able to make our pink sword, our obamium sword, as well as maybe some armor. And we're just gonna go move our camp over to where that other obamium is and pick that up before we make our way over to the boat. Oh, our cooked meat is still here. That's going to be important for the boss fight coming up. We have 300 health, which is really good. And we'll get that Obamium sword. And we'll actually pick up this anvil. Oh, no, I don't need that. Pick up that workbench and pick up wood. Sorry, but you're not that necessary for us right now. At least, the way that I look at it is that wood's gonna be some of the easiest stuff to pick up, as well as wheat, honestly. So we can worry about that later. As we go set up camp over here next to this Obamium. And we're gonna still try and pick up all these that we can on our way over. Because that's still important. As well as fuel our mind and body for that which is yet to come. The unknown boss fight. We don't know who we're fighting. We don't know what we're fighting. But we're gonna be prepared for it. Either way. And so we're actually gonna set down this anvil and this. At least that for now. Get this Obamium cooking while we mine this Obamium. And oh, Gronk! Hi, Gronk. And so this is the boss fight. This is my boy Gronk. It'd be cool if you didn't want to do that right now, but it's whatever. As you can see, we're pretty buffed up very well, to the point where it almost doesn't even matter. You can go away. You can go away, thank you. And Bruh, you got an issue? That's my Obamium I'm trying to cook there, dude. And you're not helping, and you're just getting in the way, okay? That's all you're doing right now. And that's the difficulty of trying to do things at night. And we'll throw this back in here, and we'll throw... I don't know where that coal went. And it's partially my own fault because I keep hitting it with my axe, but that's alright because it's now morning. And we're gonna go ham on this. Can we open this up? No, not yet. You also kind of want to pay attention to what multipliers you get and play to the strengths of them. I know there's one where you do more damage when you're moving. Or there's one where you do damage while falling, which is Angel Wings, I believe. Oak wood, fir wood, iron ore, I don't really care about that. How did I have a spot for that? Okay, good enough. And we are going to continue to get as many buffs as possible. No matter what the expense is. Going ham with the clicking. Yes, beautiful. So some of the buffs have effects that are pretty awesome, like this hammer, which allows you to shoot lightning out from under you. We're gonna use up some of this dark oak. Oh, that's just oak. Some of this dark oak. Uranium bar. Rubies. We'll need iron. Apparently we need some of gold bars. Rope. And fur. We got fur. We got fur for what? Raw meat and wheat. So raw meat, wheat, flax, and rope making material. And we're actually gonna set up our little camp here now at this point, because that's not fuel, that's fuel. Oops. Come on. Okay, thank you. Because now is a good time to get rid of some of the stuff that we have in our inventory. Like that wolf skin. And we are at like the best position to start mining stuff. So like all this iron is going to be really easy. We're going to go pick up a bunch of rocks. We're going to go pick up some rubies, some gold, and wood, wheat, wooden wheat. And same with this map, you can just throw it in your inventory and get rid of it. And apparently we'll keep this wolf skin for whatever reason. Oh, I didn't have enough wood. Also, you can drown, by the way. And that is an achievement, so it's worth doing at least once. So, the nights are just going to get harder as we continue on. But that's okay, because we're going to continue to get as many buffs as possible. And as you can see, these squares are getting harder to beat as well. But that's okay, because we're at max level and we can just chop a tree down like nobody's business. So, we need a little bit more gold for that. We need a little bit more gold for that. We need oak wood, which, if I can find it in the right spot. And we need a cave. Mostly we want a cave right now. I want some raw meat as well. A lot of raw meat. So all the cows that we see, all the grain that we see, we're gonna pick up. Yes, that's the hammer in action. Love it. Love it. Come on. Okay. So, as you can see now on our map, there's gems everywhere on the map. Those are the gems for the ship, if you saw on the engine. Oh, I need gold as well. I don't think I need that much, though. Day 8. And that's one of the gem guys. They're sitting there holding a gem. And they're most definitely very difficult to fight. So we're not going to start that yet. We're going to give ourselves a little bit more time. Get all buffed up. We want rocks because rocks are going to allow us to smelt more things at once. And we're really looking for a cave because the caves are where the rubies are. And so we want those poppy seeds. And the grain, the wheat when we find it. Here's some wheat. Get another thing of adrenaline and we'll get our health back up to where it needs to be. Okay. Oak. Oak, oak, oak. On top of this hill. Honestly, we could also probably go for that chunky more right now. Which I think we'll do after we get some more of this oak. Oh yeah, look at that. See, we've got so many buffs now that it's like we've got a lot going for us right now. And so this is when you challenge a buff, it'll be way stronger than normally. Did I get any chunkium from that? No, I did not. That's unfortunate. Okay. Sure. So shipwreck's directly off to our left. Oh, there's another guy up here. Another buff. And another chunkium dude. Like, you see how easy that was for me to die right there? That is what it's like fighting a boss. And that's how easy it is to die in this game after putting in about an hour's worth of work. So, yeah, be very careful. Don't get lazy with fighting things. You may feel like, oh yeah, I've improved a lot over this entire play session. I do way more damage. You don't compared to what you're fighting. Let's be honest. And always be a little bit more careful than you think you need to be, and be careful on hills, because hills are very, very difficult there, as you can see, to traverse. And at least if you're gonna fight on a hill, always fight downhill. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. As you can see, 135 kills, 1 death. Yeah, obviously, you can die more times if you have friends with you. I think the game's a lot more fun with friends, but I also very much want to finish a game solo. So with that, I'm gonna keep trying until I do. But yeah, no, day 8, 54 power-ups, 42 chests, 1,387 gold collected, a lot of damage done, not that much damage taken, but it was too much. So, with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope this video helped you out, at least a little bit. Of course, I would continue building the boat as it went on, and around, after I've finished building the boat and gotten more power-ups, then I would build some structural elements that would assist me with the gem people. And don't fight the gem people at night. Don't fight the gem people if you have other things around. Fight them when you're alone, because they hurt. They hurt really bad. And the further you get into the game, the more you'll end up getting like multiple boss fights all at once. And but like as you saw with that big chunk that I took down very easily, uh it's going to be like that. And they all have their own little move sets, and you can all learn to fight all of them about as easily. Always make sure you have food on you, because if you don't have food, you're gonna die. And even if you have 320 health, be careful. Be careful. And with that, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope this helped out a little bit, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.